Hi, welcome back to Bloom. It's time to thrive. It's a good time to thrive every day in every way. It's a time for you to get better, 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 and better. I like that. I don't know if you guys listen to Louise Hayes on YouTube. She says, every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. I am getting better and better. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. So start living with more mindfulness and more purpose. Today we are talking about embracing fear. Embracing fear. I was looking at how we learn, like as human beings, how we learn. And the process is long and arduous. Learning something new, like a new skill, is very tough for humans. We learn slowly, and we learn slowly. If you think about like small children, when they are learning how to walk, before they dial it in, they crawl, they get hit by things, they bump on things, they have scars to show, like I can tell you, because all my knees are still black from my crawling days, right? Learning takes a long time. If kids were embarrassed about getting hit by things, or bumping into things, they'd probably be too scared to learn how to walk. But the good thing is, most kids at that age, they don't know what on earth is happening around them, right? And so they crawl. Sometimes you're searching for your kid, like, where did they go? you know because they can crawl faster than you at some point. Like, kids can crawl faster than you can walk. They become very efficient. But guess what? As they have more challenges, because everything that we have is above ground, so they cannot keep crawling. So their kids could crawl forever if we did not need them to stand up. But then they realize, oh, I have to stand up because I have to pick other things on top of the chair, like something. So they have to strengthen their muscles so that they can stand up. And once they learn how to stand up, they learn how to walk. So our learning process is very, very difficult, and long. Whether you're learning a new language, whether you're learning how to start your own business, whether you're learning how to be in relationship, whether you're learning how marriage works, our process of learning is quite long. So if you're afraid of failing, you almost certainly can never learn. If you're afraid, like, if I'll make mistakes, I'll fail, you will not give yourself the chance to learn. So it's good to be like a little kid and kind of be oblivious to the failure, or embrace it. Understand that it's really part of the process, that as long as you're trying to learn new things, there'll be bumps on the road, and that you're open to those bumps. So one of the hardest people, the most difficult people to embrace failure, are people who are perfectionists. And perfectionism has its history in childhood. We can look that. But if you're afraid of failure, if you're a perfectionist, is your whole identity is tied to you performing well. And you feel embarrassed. Like, if you fail, you feel embarrassed. You have a lot to lose psychologically if you're a perfectionist from failure. So a lot of people with perfectionism get stuck when they want to start something new, because that fear of embarrassing other people, getting embarrassed in front of people, that fear can stifle your creativity, and it can stifle somebody's productivity, and just the ability to just want to give themselves more chances in life. So one of the things that hamper people is that perfectionism. Now let's look at where perfectionism comes from. When people are being perfectionist, it comes from childhood. It goes back into your childhood. For me, I remember why I was a perfectionist. It's because we used to get caned and beaten a lot at school if you did not have good grades. So for me, for the love of not getting wanna get caned, you know, and this is a very bad practice for schools to beat children for not performing, because now it destroys learning. It destroys learning. I remember when I was learning how to read, my teacher would literally hit me if I didn't like read quickly enough. And that gave me the fear of learning, and the fear that if something is not perfect, they're going to take it away from me. So that's like learning like new ways of being. You know, you learn how to be in different situations. So anyway, so it boils down to a lot of things. Being a perfectionist. So let me grab my notes here, because I was so let's say the impact, if you're feeling like you fear failure, you fear like the trying something new, there are things that can tell you like, hey, these are signs that when you find yourself doing these things, you know for sure that this is a symptom that you have a fear of failure. One is like you find yourself procrastinating. Like procrastination is like you're fearing something. You're fearing to do something because you're like, I'm not perfect, I'm not good at it, I might fail. That's why we avoid it. Another thing that we do when we are procrastinating, we avoid things. We are just avoid things because we are fearful. Like somebody invited you for an event, you find yourself like avoiding to go, even getting dressed up. That is a fear. You know, you can say like you're fearing maybe rejection when you go. You know, you don't want to do it. Sometimes you can have physiological effects when you're afraid. When you're feeling fear of failure, you can literally feel like something is chasing you or you're in trouble. People sweat. Uh, People become paralyzed, that they don't want to do anything. People become helpless. They start feeling feelings of low self-esteem and feelings of pessimism, right? I know like a lot of people who are afraid of like relationships, they'll start finding reasons why men are wrong or why women are wrong. It's just the fear of failing in yet another relationship. And it's like, so you blame somebody or you become very negative. Those are like fears. Okay. So we've looked into so many things here. We've looked at the fear of failure, why we fear failing. We look at it because we are trying to be perfectionist, right? And then we see why we are trying to be perfectionist. We can see that fear of failure has its roots in childhood. When you're a child and you're afraid of failure because you get punished, or you actually do get punished, and then now you're afraid of taking chances in life or being creative because you fear condemnation, that if it's not good enough, if it's not up to standard, if you know, if even if you did your best, if other people don't like it, they're going to shame you, they're going to blame you, or they are going to, you know, like just be negative about it. So we do fear that kind of punishment, especially when we are perfectionists, that people are going to shame us for something that we did that wasn't perfect. And that's why we avoid doing things, because guess what? We're afraid of failure. It's just the way it is. Like we're just afraid of failure because we fear that other people might not think that we are perfect or good enough. You know? So I don't know about you, but for me, the way I overcome failure, the fear of failure, is I had to change my mindset altogether. I had to embrace the process and the journey of learning and realizing whether I'm starting a business, whether I'm starting a new project, I might fail. And I have to understand that that's just part of the learning journey, of the learning process. And I have to normalize failure. I have to destigmatize failure for me to start having a thriving mindset. It's just the way everybody who has tried anything ever in life, is just the attitude that they just have to have at some point. They're like, I got to learn this. I have a lot of things to learn. I have a lot of things to do. And learning, like, okay, on my journey, on my way to becoming the person that I want to become, there will be some failures along the way. So we start shifting the mindset. We start realizing, hey, I might as well die trying. I might as well, fail trying than to just be stuck in one place, and that kind of passion and drive, and consistency, that's what eventually people become good at the things that they want to purpose to do. They stop fearing failure and they change their mindset towards failure. Some people say things like, failure is delayed success, or failure is success upside down. Some people say, yeah, some people say failure is success upside down. I don't know how you view failure and how you view success, but shifting your mindset about how you view success and failure can really be a game changer in your life, in everything that you want to do. Most successful people think of failure very, very differently. Most people who have succeeded in businesses, in relationship, they think about failure very differently. They see it as a way to success, as like as the process. So they kind of embrace it. And this is what we are talking about: embracing success, destigmatizing success. And if you're born into or raised by people who are perfectionists, and they punished you or shamed you for failing and not being perfect, you might think like failure is actually something bad. But when you understand, like, our learning process has to embrace failure, and our school systems have been conditioning us to look at failure the wrong way, then you start embracing it and realizing, actually, it's a superpower. Failure can tell you what's not working, so that you quickly move towards what's working and what will benefit you. So learn to embrace that failure. Learn to embrace it, because it's going to take you and propel you into success. Great success. Great success. So let's talk about deprogramming about failure. Deprogramming about failure. I like to give this story that growing up, I hate taking porridge. I really did not like taking porridge, but that's what I had for breakfast, like almost every day for like 7 years. And, at some point as an adult, when I had the choice, I remember one time my sister took me to a place, and this woman made a really nice cup of porridge, really rich. And I vomited the whole of it, like, ugh, I vomited it. And I started realizing that there was an association with porridge, because I took porridge for breakfast for years because, of poverty. And, sometimes, it was just very, very like tasteless, like it was just terrible. But anyway, I had a bad association with it, that, I remember like vomiting one time, that time. But then another time, my friend was making it, and she was very nice about it, and she was friendly, she was kind. And I remember taking more than a cup of porridge, and I did not vomit. And I realized, like, that interaction between me and my friend was so sweet and so loving, that she introduced the same porridge, and I was able to take it and not throw up, because the association was very different this time. And that's what we do with failure. The things that we're afraid of failing, we can associate them, with fun activities. Maybe you're afraid of um of failing for in an exam. You can associate studying with nice music, with fun activities with your friends, make the activity fun. And if even things don't go well, you kind of associate it with Still, I'm learning, I'm growing. So failure is really not the problem. Our problem, the problem is our attitude towards it when we want to be super perfectionist about it, like when we feel ashamed of failing, when we don't give ourselves the grace to learn that through we've never lived this life like twice. We only live once. So every experience is quite new. Everything we learn is pretty much trial and error. And that's the beauty of life, because you get to do it once, and everything, you learn, you fail, you're kind of like really trying to learn everything. And I think that's the terrible part about our academic, like our schooling system, is that they get to punish us for failing in a normal process of learning, where failure should be normalized and destigmatized. They make it feel like so bad that we fail, when in reality life is like that. Success and failure, they are like two sides of the same coin, and you can't have one without the other. You really cannot have one without the other. So let me know if you what you think about failure, about normalizing failure in your life. I love your comments. Welcome to the live chat. Yeah, remember that you're free to comment, to share, to let us know your experiences about failure. I'll be reading them out loud, and what you think about normalizing and making it normal in your life, and how the fear of failure probably has stopped you. Hi, Jawix. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. Let me know in your live stream how um, maybe you have embraced failure as a learning process, as part of your success in your life's journey. Let me know how that is working for you. Yes, I remember you. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's always nice to see the same faces. Always nice. Yeah, today we are talking about embracing failure as part of the learning process. Every time, remember how you had to learn how to crawl and then walk, all the things that you had to bump into before you could even take your first very step in life. Imagine if you discouraged yourself because you bumped into something, or you fell, or you got a scar, or something bad happened. You would never learn how to walk, but you kept persisting. You kept persisting through the whole obstacles, everything, and eventually you learned how to walk. The persistence that you have had in learning a new language, or your mother tongue, or learning math, the persistence, you didn't always get all those mathematical equations right. You didn't always get everything in your grammar right, but at the end of the day, it still got you somewhere. You still learned a lot, a great deal, that you're still using today. So failure is part of the process of success. It's really part of the process of success. The problem is that we are taught to fear failure so much that we stop giving ourselves chances of learning. We stop like learning new things. I know some people in their 50s who don't learn anything anymore. They kind of stopped. The moment that they stopped school, or got out of it, is the moment they stopped developing. And you can live like that. Yes, yeah, I like this. That's how you learned how to talk in English. I also had to learn to talk in English. Like, it's not my first language. And you say nothing happened to you today. That's funny. That's a good thing. No news is good news. Nothing good happened, nothing bad happened. You're still safe and sound. That's great. That is great. It's nice. It's always good to be grateful that for the air that we breathe. I mean, as long as you're alive, you're worth it. I always tell myself affirmations that I am worthy just because I exist. I am worthy just because I exist, and that's it. As long as I'm breathing, I am. I can live my life. Today we are talking about embracing failure, destigmatizing failure, normalizing it, realizing that failure is part of success, that we cannot avoid it. We have to learn new things, and we are going to be rough on the edges as we learn new things, but we are going to be sassy and salty and happy about it so that we can keep learning and keep growing. You know, that's how we expand. We expand our lives through learning. You know, learning about finances, learning about relationships, especially relationships, right? Learning how to make other people feel happy and welcome in our presence, so that, you know, that is good for business, that is good for growing, that is good for learning. They get to teach us things, we get to teach them things, they get to sell us things, we get to sell them things, we get to grow, right? So we cannot say that, oh, I'm not going to go to a new place or experience new activities because I'm afraid of failing, because we want to be creative, we want to be productive, we want to expand, you know. So embracing failure is good, you know. um, I don't speak Spanish though, I don't speak Spanish, so if you're going to type, just type in English because I don't understand Spanish. um, so we're talking about embracing failure as part of success, and you can type below what you think about this topic about embracing failures. I know sometimes we are afraid of failure because of what happened in our childhood. For me, like I gave you my experience when we were going to school, our teachers would cane us, like beat us for failing. If you didn't like, if you failed in your homework, if you failed in a test, you know, that was caused to be beaten up. And that creates a fear of learning, you know, a fear of learning. I really didn't think that I liked school. You know, I enjoyed school after high school, but I don't think I really enjoyed learning when I was in primary school and high school because, you know, of the whole like chaotic learning environment. Learning should be fun. Learning should be, you know, embraced, and failure when we are learning and going through life need to be destigmatized so that we can give ourselves more chances of learning and growing. You know, there are people who will not go to some parties or go in a circle of particular groups of people or places because they feel different, and because they are afraid of, you know, people will probably laugh at them, at their accent and everything. But you cannot expand and grow if you keep limiting yourself, if you keep saying I'm not good enough, if you keep saying that and that, you know, that there is something wrong with you. You have to give yourself chances, go into different circles of different people in your life and learn from them and grow, and yeah, and keep learning. Yeah, you have to go outside, even if you think like, you know, uh, you have to keep going. I hear that Jawix, that you got in a car accident, I'm sorry, and you got hit in your stomach and it hurts. I hope you went to hospital and you're taking care of yourself. Yeah, that hurts. I'm sorry you got into an accident. Good, good. I'm glad you went to the doctor. So this channel we about growth, growing. Embracing failure is part of the growing process. Is part of the journey. And when you learn this, it is liberating. And I'm glad to hear that you're healing. It's nice. Good, good. So embracing failure is part of the journey, you know, and you're going to get better. Tell yourself every day, in every way, I'm going to get better and better, you know, better and better. So let me know, have you ever failed at something? Did you feel bad about it? You know, how did you get back up? How did you get back up? Failure. failure is something else, you know. And so let's talk about living passionately. Living passionately, when you embrace failure, when you understand, like, hey, I can do these things. Like, there's a time I was learning how to sail, like sailing, and sailing is very fun. You know, it's very fun, and they put us in groups, and they put us in like this boat. I had one couple, and there was a couple that I was learning to sail with, but the man in the sailing, like the group that I was, he was so critical to his wife that it gave me anxiety. And you know, you can't learn when you have a lot of anxiety. You know, that the first time it was like, you know, sailing is complicated. You have to observe the wind, you have to observe the boom. If you're not careful, you might capsize. And he was so critical to his wife, so critical. I was like, how does she even live with this man who is criticizing her over and over and over? Like, how do you live your life with somebody like this? Let me tell you, I was horrified. I was horrified. I After that class, I didn't go sailing for a long time. I actually did not ever go to that place again. I chose a different person. Yeah, it's really terrible. I chose a different school to learn how to sail. And this is the thing, like, people who are negative like that, they can make you not want to do different things or new things, because they are criticizing you over and over and over. And it's good to realize that's where we get the fear of learning. You know, learning should be fun. We should be having fun learning new experiences, like sailing, you know, or, you know, maybe dancing. But imagine you had a dance teacher who was criticizing your every move. You're this, you're that, you're that, you're that. You know, how can you ever learn anything that way? You know? So I guess why people are afraid or embarrassed, that because of people like that, But the good thing you can do is you can train your mind to ignore negativity. Avoid these people. Don't learn with them. You know, when you want to choose something that nice that you want for yourself, that you want to learn for yourself, don't be around these kinds of negative people, because they can affect how you feel and your learning process and the joy that you can get from learning something new. So even if it's a teacher, you know, like, hey, if you're taking classes, avoid the teachers that are negative, like they are critical, you know, people who don't make it fun, because we learn through emotions. So you want to make it fun and joyful for your life. So yeah, that's how we overcome failure. You're going to get better. Give your time to heal. Give yourself time to heal. It's always nice. Healing is nice. Like, when you're injured and you're taking time to heal, it's nice, because when you're healing, you get to take a step back in life and think about things and life. As you're going through the healing process, you're taking care of yourself, you're getting back into the routine of nurturing and taking care of yourself. You know, sometimes healing is good. If you can't get up, just stay and relax, you know, and get better and better. So, are you afraid of other people judging you when you're studying new things? Maybe you want to start learning a new project. Like, what do you want to learn? Maybe you want to learn to paint, or you want to learn how to cook, or you want to learn how to play the guitar, or drawing, you know, or some people like to crochet, you know. Sometimes we want to pick up new things because we want them to relax, you know. But like during COVID, I took up knitting. I was knitting, and it was fun learning how to knit. I don't know, what are you, you know, maybe right now, like Jawix, when you're in bed and you're feeling like you have something, like your stomach is aching, maybe you can learn how to knit, you know, do something. Maybe you can learn how to play chess, you know, because you're just there. It's time to pick up something new, you know, as you recover and get better. um all these are fun things that you can do, but you have to embrace the fact that you're not going to be perfect in the beginning. They say that it takes 10,000 hours to become good at something. That is around a good 7 to 8 years. And that's when you're doing like 8 times a day, right? So you wanted to be a police. What stopped you? You can still become a police, can't you? What can, you know? You can always have new dreams. You can always start something new. You can always start something new. You can always learn something new. Never. One thing I learned is that our brain is plastic. Our brain is like Play-Doh. The Play-Doh that that kids that kids play with. Our brain is like Play-Doh. You can shape it at any age. You can shape your brain because you can learn new things. So Jawix, you say you keep getting fired. Have you ever thought about why you keep getting fired? You know, have you thought about what can I change so that I don't keep getting fired? Have you thought maybe it's my behavior? Are you always on time to work? Is that something you can change? Are you friendly with your co-workers? Because people will keep people around that they like. So if you're friendly with people, yeah. Well, if you can't shoot properly and you want to become a police, then then look for something else. Look for something else that you can do, you know, and with people that can allow you to if you can't shoot properly, you don't want to be a police. Because what if a burglar came in front of you and you wanted to shoot them, and then you missed, and then they ended up shooting you? That's dangerous. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. So, and it's okay to normalize it. Like, hey, I can't shoot properly. Maybe this is not the career for me. I'm a nice guy. I don't want to shoot somebody. So maybe being a police is not for you. You can accept that. You can accept that and find something else that you can do. We are talking about embracing failure and making it part of success, because success and failure are two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other. And then we are talking about our childhood traumas and how if you grew up in a place where you were punished for not getting things right, you probably became a perfectionist, and how being a perfectionist, fearing judgment, can really create a feeling of that you fear doing new things, because you wonder how other people are perceiving you. This impacts your self-esteem, and then you desire to avoid failure, so you stifle your own creativity. You don't take chances in life. You don't believe in yourself, and this can really stop you from 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 pursuing new things. uh, so yes, okay, so Jawix, you're saying that I'm making you believe it. Yeah, you can always learn new things at any time. You're saying I'm making you believe it. You're single but ever wanted a family. You wanted to have a family. You see, you can always have a family. You can have close friends. And I'm saying failure is the way you see it. Having close friends, having a cat, having a dog, having pets, that can be your family and your friends and people you visit. You can adopt people into your family, into your life, and become family. So, well, I know you're injured and you're not feeling well. You need to have a rest. Have a wonderful evening. Go rest, and we can talk tomorrow. Just have some rest and take care of yourself. I'm so glad that you have family and friends bringing you tea. That is so nice. Have a good one. Take care. Bye. Yeah. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe, like, subscribe. We are one big family here. We support each other. This is Bloom, the oasis of self-love. This is the ultimate self-help channel on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button, and also remember to put in your comments. You know, what are you feeling? Like today we are discussing a very important topic about embracing failure and propelling your life forward. That means that you can take advantage of this moment to grow, to learn, to share your experiences, and keep transforming. I believe in self-help. No matter what anybody tells you, I believe in self-help, because self-help has helped me so much. It has helped me kind of grow and nurture myself. And we're talking about embracing failure. A lot of times, because we come from a place where we are perfectionists, we fear failure, of judgment, because we don't like to be judged. We don't like others perceiving us wrongly, and impacting our self-esteem. So we can stop ourselves from taking chances in life, you know, and that can stop our creativity, our productivity, just things in life. So try to reflect on how this impacts your life. Try to reflect how the fear of failure has impacted your dreams, has impacted your ability to make like more money, or to be in relationships, or you know, just things in life, right? Your fear of other people rejecting you, laughing at you, judging you, all that, right? And we were talking about, you know, what we normally do when we feel like other people are judging us or we might fail. We tend to procrastinate. We tend to avoid things. You know, sometimes physiologically we can tend to sweat, you know. And what happens when you procrastinate? I always say the number one thing that kills procrastination is action. Dead on its tracks, you know, kills it completely. Procrastination kills. Action kills procrastination. When you're feeling sweaty and you know, like you can't think, this is an indicator that you're having cortisol, stress hormones in your system. So when you feel like stress, jittery, is good to just go out, get a run, sweat those chemicals out, drink water, cool yourself down, reset that system back into homeostasis. Now you've cleared your thoughts. Now you can think, you can continue, you know, uh, you can continue what you're doing. Sometimes it's paralysis, and you know, sometimes you're just paralyzed that you don't want to do something. That's when I call my friend and I go and I try to have them help me kind of, you know, go back into action mode. Or I can go running, you know. If you find yourself feeling helpless or you're having negative emotions towards a project or something that you want to try, or a new thing, is the fear of failure, you know, that's coming in. And it's just stress. It's really, fear of failure is just stress, and you can deactivate it the same way we do stressful things. You know, you can go get some sunlight, come back, work at something. You can go run, remove stress chemicals out of your body. When you understand fear of failure is just stress, and you can overcome it by the same way we do other stress techniques, it becomes so easy to understand that the only thing that limits us is fear, and fear is stress. So, but a good mindset can overcome fear. A mindset, switching mindset is good. So I come from Kenya, and one of the things that people say when they are faced by something fearful or something that they find daunting, they say, you only die once. That's what they say. They say you only die once. And once they say that you only die once, what they mean is, you know, if I die, it's only once. I can't come back and relieve the pain again. You know, it will be done. Once I die, it's over. So I might as well do this daunting thing that feels like so scary. It's like death, you know. And, you know, if I die, it's only once. I won't come back here and nobody is going to judge me, or I'll be in pain that this did not work out. And this kind of sassy little mindsets can actually really propel you out of fear and procrastination and fear of judgment of others and everything. So tell yourself stuff like that, like, hey, I only die once. I might as well go land sailing if if my boat capsizes, instead of holding yourself back, or you're afraid of cooking food and other people not liking. They only die once. If your cooking is so terrible they only die once. I'm just saying, no need to poison anybody, but you know that kind of sassy mindset can really, really, really help you overcome that fear of judgment. So let me see what I had here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, we're talking about destigmatizing failure, making it look so normal, normalizing it, uh, yeah. And the thing is, the big thing is challenging those thoughts of failure. You kind of like challenge them, because thoughts of failure are kind of like, your mind can throw you whatever, right? Your mind can tell you blah 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 blah, but you can challenge it. You can say like, I don't believe that thought. That's not really true. And that's really what I'm saying, kind of like telling yourself, like, even if you fail on a project, you say, well, I learned through mistakes, right? You just kind of challenge thoughts that I'm like, oh, you're hopeless, you failed, you'll never get up again. You're like, no, I learned through mistakes. Failure is success turned upside down. Failure is delayed success. Failure is the road to happiness. You tell yourself that, because at the end of the day, the reality is, we have to work hard consistently for us to achieve success. We have to work hard. We have to fail, wake up, make mistake, learn from them, and we can't judge ourselves because we failed on anything. I always say your self-esteem, your self-worth is not tied to your successes or your failure. You're worthy in life just simply because you exist. You are worthy in life simply because we exist. We live in a messed up society where people make us feel bad for failing, and we were even trying. I always tell people, first of all, I am worthy simply because I exist. I am here breathing air. I am worthy. I am lovable, just the same, just because I exist, right? So if I try something and I fail, that's not a reflection of anything about me or my happiness, or who I am as a person. It's fail. It's something that I failed. Failure is the road to success. We learn through failure, we learn through mistakes. So what I failed, has nothing, no bearing on who I am as a person. It's just a mistake, right? And when you learn to live with that grace, covering yourself with grace all the time, 24/7, it doesn't matter whether you did a mistake. I remember one time, my God, when I was starting my new job, that was like 15 years ago. I sent really like an email and it went to the wrong person. They had the same name as my boss, and this was like an email that was personal and private. I made a mistake and it went to the wrong person, and it had to do with money and stuff, just private private things, right? And I felt like the ground should just open up and swallow me in it, and nobody needs to see me at all. I just remember the butterflies in my stomach, what I was thinking. I was sweaty, I was dizzy, just like, how could I make such a mistake, right? But guess what? It was my first job straight after college, you know? And I was going through things, I was stressed out, I was worried, all that, But now I'm very careful, most of the times when I am doing that, I'm not saying that it may not happen again. It could happen again. But I'm saying is that I'm still here. I learned from that mistake. I did not die. I still kept, I did get fired, but, I got another job because now I felt like more confident, like, oh, wow, I failed on that one. That was terrible. you know and like that's something that you should never do on a job. So I learned those mistakes, to be very, 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 very careful with who's I'm sending an email, double checking it, checking the email, because they might have the same name, the same first name and last name. I tell you, it was terrible, but I'm still here. I am still here, and I have learned so many things, and I've given myself chances to learn from different jobs, different environments. And I'm like, what? Don't let failure stop you. Don't let failure stop you. We get those fears from our childhood. Like for me, I told you, I was when I was learning how to read, my teacher would hit me if I'm not reading correctly. And that getting hit because you're not getting it correctly, it traumatizes you, that when you're learning, it has to be perfect, which is the dumbest thing ever. I don't know why they do this in our school systems, because learning should be fun. Learning should embrace failure. We should destigmatize failure because it is stupid. you know I don't know whoever did this, like whoever put in this kind of a system, beats me. It beats me. So, well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Bloom, the oasis of self-love, self-growth, thriving, and healing, everything in one. There's no channel like this on YouTube. There is no channel like this on YouTube. I've yet to see it. And you know why I started this channel? I started this channel because there was nothing on YouTube helping people in real life heal, grow, transform, you know, and learn. So please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me comments below. I am usually live Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., and 6:35 p.m. If things change, I'll still let you know. But you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. We are helping people grow, heal from trauma, grow, have thriving relationships, you know, um, succeed in their relationships, heal, grow, thrive, find happiness, and most importantly, connect with themselves. That inner connection, when you're coming from a place where people didn't love you, people didn't care about you, people didn't care for you, we are trying to help people understand that there is still hope. There is inner connection. You can heal inside. You can heal from the inside and connect with your heart and your emotions, and boom, just like a lotus flower, you can start opening up again to life, to everything. That's how we grow. Don't lock your emotions just because somebody decided that they didn't think that you are worthy. You are worthy at any age, at any time in your life. You are worthy. There's a reason why you're on this planet breathing this beautiful oxygen. You are worthy. You can heal, you can grow, you can learn. You are unlimited. You are unlimited. So, well, thanks again for tuning into Bloom. Like, subscribe, and share. And I can't wait until we start like really seeing a lot of people tuning in to these live talks, and with time start to transform and feel like, oh my goodness, I'm finally getting it. I'm finally, my mindset is stronger than I thought. Life is about strengthening your mindset, strengthening your winning mindset, and opening up your heart to chances, to growth, all that beautiful stuff. So, well, thank you so much. I'm not sure tomorrow I'll be live. I probably will not be live this weekend, but Mondays, if you need motivation Monday, I'll be there. I'll be there. And we have a lot of topics that we are going to cover. I want to talk about, let me know what topics interest you, but I want to talk about codependency on my next topic, codependent. Just look about it. Is about, you know, creating more healthy boundaries, so that when you're helping people, they are not taking advantage of you, and they're not using you and leaving you feeling drained and angry, pretty much. So see you on the next topic, and until next time, may God bless you.